Hi everybody, my name is Clay Volkman and I'm the hearing provider at Advantage Hearing and Audiology in Greensboro, North Carolina. And today I just want to take a few minutes to talk to you about hearing loss and how it relates to memory loss and even a couple other important things such as dementia. So a few things when patients come in and we talk to them about their hearing loss that a lot of people are really surprised to find out that having hearing loss can contribute to your balance walking. It can contribute to falls a lot of times and even dementia. And recent studies have shown that even a slight hearing loss can almost double your chances of developing signs of dementia. So having hearing loss, it actually makes your brain work harder to process sound. So when you hear someone speak, your brain has to work extra hard to hear that person speak and process that sound. And talking about that, I'm kind of leading up to a term called auditory deprivation. When people have hearing loss, whether it be slight or severe, auditory deprivation is when we're not processing the speed of sound to our brain, which is actually where we hear sound. We hear the sound goes in our ears, is processed through our ear canal, our cochlea, but we actually hear with our brain. So when your brain isn't getting a full signal of sound, it tends to get lazy. And people with hearing loss that don't have their hearing loss corrected are not getting the full signal of sound, so they tend to withdraw from conversations. Auditory deprivation is when your brain actually starts to forget. And I know that seems a little bit unlikely. Everybody thinks, no, I'm always going to remember, sounds. It's not really remembering words and sounds. Your brain just isn't as sharp. When people speak to you and you have hearing loss, auditory deprivation actually is a reaction time to that sound when it's not getting the full signal. So we tend to not process sound as quickly. If that, hopefully in a general sense, makes sense to you. So having auditory deprivation should be a big concern for the patient, because most people want to be able to communicate with your family. They want to be able to watch the news, sports, hear music. And hearing loss left untreated can just over time, become worse. So some important things, the brain tends to start to forget. I like to compare it when patients are sitting in front of me to, let's say you were studying to take a test, okay, and you study and you study and you study, and boom, you take the test. That's the best time to take the test. So the same thing applies to hearing. When you hear well, you hear the words over and over and over, and you're hearing, your brain's just clicking fast, you process it. When you have hearing loss, your brain tends to withdraw. You're not hearing the sounds clearly, and it's not processing the sound as quickly. Just like going back to like taking a test, you study, you wait, and you don't take the test, and you forget. So I hope that made a little bit of sense to you. And just like I said before, your brain isn't getting a full signal. So one thing, I want to hold this up just real quick. Don't concentrate on it too much, but just kind of tell you why. About 95% to 98% of people with hearing loss have what is called sensorineural hearing loss. And right here behind each hearing, behind your eardrum, in each ear, this blue thing is your eardrum, and the purple thing back there coiled up is your cochlea, okay? So I just wanted you to see a picture. It's coiled up like a snail, and actually your eardrum hears the sound, vibrates. These three tiny bones that's hard to see in this picture, but they make a hammering motion, send the fluids flowing in your cochlea. There's about 30,000 nerve endings in your cochlea. That sound travels over the nerve endings. And when it goes over those nerve endings, that's what sends the full signal of sound up to your brain. Okay? So what happens when people have hearing loss, those little 30,000 nerve endings want to be going like this all the time when they're at full signal. When you have hearing loss, they're struggling to send that full signal up to your brain. Sorry about that. At that point, you're not getting the full word up in your brain where you're actually hearing. So in summary, when you're not hearing at your full capacity, when your brain isn't fully stimulated, there in your cochlea, not only are you having a little bit of auditory deprivation where you don't really know it, and a lot of people don't realize it, but you're not retaining, your brain's not as sharp. Also in the cochlea, there are some fluids that flow around there that have everything to do with your body positioning, your balance, your sense of eye movement. When you go to an eye doctor and he moves his finger and he wants you to look over here without moving your head, or look in the opposite direction without moving your head, that's called a nystagmus. And that has everything to do with those fluids that are flowing in both of your cochleas, where those 30,000 nerve endings are trying to be stimulated all the time, which is going to send a full signal to your brain when they are. It's going to help you hear. It's going to help you with your balance, with your body positioning. And an important thing I like to point out to patients is hearing well not only is going to allow you to communicate with people, it's going to allow you to live your life the way you want to, but it's also a safety issue. You want to be able to hear people. You want to be able to know what's going on around you. So I guess in summary today, I just wanted to give you a little information on why when we don't hear as well as we should, why that can cause issues with your memory. It can lead to symptoms of dementia, and it's just very, very important that everyone take care of your hearing, because it's a very sensitive mechanism in your body, just like your eyes, just like your speech. You always want to make sure that you're taking care of it. And anything in more detail that anybody that's watching wants to know, I would love for you to come in and talk to me. I am in the Greensboro office, and our number here is 336-271-4944, and we'd love to hear from you. And I hope you got something from this today. Everybody have a nice day. Thanks.